The Townline Association was successful in keeping another power plant out of their neighborhood, but there's still the matter of the landfills. Landfills, landfills, landfills. That leads me to ask the question, whose ingenious idea was it to bury our waste inside of our earth? We know that ingesting the garbage we create or burying it under your skin would be unhealthy. So why is burying trash inside the planet's crust justifiable? The first landfill I showed you might have looked familiar because it's right next to the Huntington Waste to Energy facility. Growing up with that eyesore just down the road was always something that bothered me. Here was this huge mound of trash, covered in grass, fenced off, doing nothing but rotting. How long has that been there for? And how long will it be there for? How can we better manage our waste? Because it seems as though our waste management systems haven't quite caught up in terms of advancement to the industrial world. The care of our environment and of our beautiful neighborhoods has been tarnished so that what? We have an easy place to put our trash? What happens when we run out of room for all the waste we create? The image you saw next was the view from my great-grandmother and great-grandfather's grave. Right behind it you can see a power plant, and just beyond that there is again a very large landfill. That part of my family is Jewish, and so traditionally, when Jewish people pass away, they are buried and not cremated. I learned that this was considered a mitzvah, one of the Jewish rites of passage. It was an honor to have your body rest in eternity with the ones that you love. It was also about returning your body to God by becoming a part of the earth. How disgraceful it is to think of the concept of a landfill and how that tarnishes such a beautifully sacred ritual. This is a picture you will not remember because you haven't seen it before, because it's not a landfill or a power plant. It's an image of driving on a beautiful autumn day. I'm heading north on I-95, snapping away as the afternoon sun comes down on the trees. A few hours later in my trip, I begin to enjoy the sunset. The grass around me was glowing amber, and I could feel the warmth of the sun on my face. As I snapped some more pictures, I realized I was driving by a massive landfill, and it took away from the moment. There are other instances where the tools are available, but their potential is not exhausted. In the instance of these bins, the black ones are for trash and the blue for recycling. If recycling were a major concern to the county, the ones responsible for handing out the bins, they would have equally sized bins for garbage or recycle, or even bigger ones for recycle. It would have the same effect as a store having large shopping carts for its customers. The bigger the cart, the more inclined the customer is to buy. The bigger the recycle bin, the more chances you have to do good for the earth. This is a self-made image I decided to put up because I couldn't actually get the picture myself. You see, I wanted to portray somebody's yard who was seeming to do the right thing by recycling. As you can see in the recycling bin, there's a whole bunch of bottles and tons of things that belong in there, so they're doing a good job. But at the same time, their front yard, their cute little front yard, quaint with a nice little swing, is littered with cigarette butts. And not only that, but cigarette butts in the leaves. Now, this is a perfect example of somebody not taking full advantage of the resources we have available. Though they are doing a good job in recycling, they're not fully utilizing the cleanliness that they could. They could put those cigarette butts in something and dispose of them properly instead of littering their own front yard.